Where's Kitty? Oh, there he is. Hello, Mr. Kitty. You doing okay on the second floor of the condo? Yes, you are. Little cat condo. You have a good one, okay? Don't do much. Just, sit there all curled up. All right, love you, Kitty. I know you love me too. By the seashore. Susie sells seashells. All right, it's a Sunday, December 14th, 2025, about 5:10 p.m. Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. I'm Cole. There's Critter. He's a Rearview mirror air freshener. He likes to live, laugh, and smell good. I did get to watch the Robert Bresson, I guess you could say, Bresson movie from 1956, A Man Escaped. I liked it. I only fell asleep in a little part and then I rewound it. It was a really good ending. It's really exciting. It's done in a very different way. It's black and white. I think David Ribnick, the editor of The New Yorker, I think it's David Ribnick, he suggested it. And I like Pickpocket and a few others filmed like Largent, things like that. So it was cool. It was a cool film. I think it was better than Pickpocket, but it was definitely revolutionary. All right, go ahead and please subscribe. And then if you'd like to support the channel, feel free. I will provide my PayPal right here. It'll probably come out there. I've been getting good about going through the editor and making sure that that's posted in there, sometimes with sound effects. All right, other than that, yeah, tweaking like a line here and there on the novel. Pretty close to posting the next chapter. I have it all formatted, like structured out, if that makes any sense for that chapter. I have it all plotted out on what's going to happen. Jed Wilson sees his dad. They have like a conversation about him being, this sniper instructor for this crazy militia, and also how he used to want to be a rock star. Plays a song for him. Then he gets in his van and he puts on America and listens to A Horse That Has No Name and drives off from this little suburban area outside of Seattle. He's like a failed rock star that got wound up in a militia because of this guy named the Dwarf, which is really a dwarf. It's a novel. It's fiction. It's not real. I'm kind of method, so I did act out, not really act out, but kind of like thought out monologue, created monologues for it. I'll just put it that way. I didn't like go out, join a militia or anything like that. I didn't do that. If that's one of my ex-wives thought I did that, no, it's not true. All that stuff, not, that was just something I was doing, exploring, being risky. There's the Grinch. But I do believe in faith, hope, love, and charity. I do believe in that. I think it's a good thing to believe in. And anyway, I don't know if I'm going to include that in the novel, but that was part of the political thing that I put down, the New Liberty Party. I do feel that we need a party for peace, I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you want to go out and create a party that believes in faith, hope, love, and charity. I think it would probably be okay because there's no law against kindness. As long as you're kind, then you should be okay. And pretty much, we're kind of in a country where you do have the freedom to speak out, speak your mind. And if you're delusional, you just say, oh, well, whoops, sorry, whoops. A little delusional about that. Sorry about that. Guess it slipped my tongue. Sorry about that. In Russia, they'll throw you a helicopter into the ocean. They used to, into the ocean. I don't know if they still do that, but that's what I heard when I was younger. I was brought up. Like, you're a communistic country. You say something wrong, they put you in a helicopter, throw you out in the ocean. But anyway, here you can speak your mind. All right. So what's next on the agenda? Probably gonna come across some Christmas lights. This is a part of the show where you get to watch me pick up food at restaurants and drop it off at your doorstep. I'll try to get good Christmas lights. I do rate them on the best one on the road or the drive or the street or the avenue or the court or the I don't know, wherever it is, you know, I don't know, Avenue, Street, wherever I come across, the cul-de-sac of Christmas lights, whatever I come across, you know, I try to rate them in that area or on that particular street or whatever I see it on. What else? All right, nothing else comes to me. We'll go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, so I got a 10-day on WeatherBug. It looks like Sunday tonight will be a low of 30. It's a high of 41. And then this one says 40, high of 47, a low of 29, which is about the same as 30, high of 30 right here. So a little bit below freezing. I brought my coat. Looks like the Modern has some lights. Jenny Savile and Myth Marble, Kimball Art Museum. Casa Manana is actually doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I think until the day before Christmas Eve. Then they're going to pick up Wizard of Oz on January 23rd through February 15th. Casa Manana. All right, got one for Sweet Green, 5:22 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.6 for the pickup. Sweet Green on the way. 5:33 arrival, 8 minutes, 2.8 miles for the delivery. All right, I have no planned playlist or anything. I just recently downloaded SoundCloud. I don't even know if these are my playlists, but that's what they sent me. So, I don't know. The song before that was by something called Adult Mom, I Make Boys Cry or something. Let's see if I can switch it over. Yeah, that was a song before then, so. I don't know, SoundCloud sends me stuff, so there we go. Part of the show. This is another one. All right, Whataburger on our way. 5:43 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.1 mile for the pickup. All right, there is a drink involved. French fries, and it is a number 3 triple meat Whataburger watermelon, American cheese pickles, and a Coca-Cola classic. 5-inch large bun with medium and mustard. They're selling. Medium. All right, 6:11, 12 minutes, 4.5 miles for the delivery. That's the Burnett Plaza building. It's the largest building in Fort Worth. Burnett Plaza was completed in 1983. It's 567 feet. The structural engineer is Carlton Maxwell. The main contractor, Randy Cody. They started building the Burnett Plaza building in 1981. They finished it in 83. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We've got a stalled train. Looks like we'll be going. I think the entranceway. I've delivered to these before. That's what I call the gate. It's gotta be right here. Pretty sure I remember. Yeah, that's right. Kind of shows it right here. All right, got it. So the gate is actually, I guess there's, I don't know, I guess it'll give a code or something. Sometimes it does need it out. Just wanted to meet right there. It's kind of a difficult one. But good thing it's right before this train right here. All right, Texas de Brazil on our way. 6:23 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.8 miles for the pickup. They usually take a long time, so I am going to note when I pull into the parking lot, which is not right now. Back in the day, they brought their horses here and they could water them right here at this fountain. That's what that horse represents. They've got a little information plaque right there that talks about it. SSD Brazil on the way. 6:43 arrival, 12 minutes, 3.9 miles for the delivery. I'm thinking about, give me some thought here. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and green light the project. Green lighted. The project has been green lighted. And that's how I green light projects. Yeah, I think I was over here when I passed by that house in the backyard, or it was like it could have been like a bar. It just looked kind of like a house from the outside. They were playing Kiss, the song "Lick It Up." It was somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and it was like, I think it was probably like a bar. They had live music. It just had like a gate on the side of the where the house. It looked kind of like it was among houses. It could have been a house. I don't know. Could have been a house party. I was over in this area somewhere. In this place right here. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I think it might have been this place right here. And yep, it was. This is where they were playing Kiss. It just says Texas Ice House. So they were playing Lick It Up right there. It's a pretty good cover too. Lick it up. Lick it up. that. Oh, these projectors are a real nice one too. All right, got to pick up at the warehouse, and then Mellow Mushroom. First pickup is 7:02 arrival, 14 minutes, 7.2. And I'll keep you posted from there. So the Robert Bresson film, A Man Escaped, eventually what ends up happening is he gets a spoon, he sharpens a spoon, he loosens the panels on the front of the cell door, which are made out of wood. This was a long time ago. It was a French prison that was occupied by Nazis that were keeping him in prison because he was a revolutionary named Lieutenant Fontaine. He worked for the resistance. He was getting help from the resistance from the inside, but he was bunked with a deserter, a Nazi deserter, who he ended up teaming up with to get out of the prison. And they go through a detailed thing where they have to get out of the cell and climb up through this glass window up on the roof, and then they basically use these makeshift grappling hook to climb down, and at one point climb across to one building to another, and then they end up getting into a courtyard, and he realizes that he needed the help of another to escape, and he climbs on his shoulder, or I think he climbs on his shoulder and then hoists up the grappling hook, and he's able to climb over the fence, and they're able to get away. And then he's able to write about it later. So it was based on a real memoir. It's based on a true story. It's not told like you would think on an average American movie, or, you know, it's a French movie from the 1950s, from 1956. But it's very detailed, and it's very different. Not tons of music and stuff like that. It's not really a feel-good film, you could say. It's considered a Criterion Collection masterpiece. And it is. It's one of the great films of Robert Bresson. Another thing good about A Man Escaped, 1956, Robert Bresson, is that it's kind of one of those impossible feat films. You know, there's some mountain climbing films like Free Solo and things like that. But, yeah, it's like an impossible task that he goes and does, you know, and gets away. And luckily, you know, during the time, he probably maybe only had to wait a few months until the Americans and the English and eventually the Russians came to liberate, everyone that was enslaved, or, they were either put in camps or they were put in prisons for different reasons. He was to be executed, though. That's another thing. And that probably really happened. So this was like real memoirs from the Davini guy, who was a lieutenant in the resistance. But he was to be executed. So he either escaped or he died. And his people were, you could hear him being shot on the other side of the fence, or the other side of the wall the entire time. But it's not done how Deer Hunter, if you've seen Deer Hunter, it's not done like a heightened emotion. The emotion's very subtle, if there's any at all. Because Bresson's style was that the actor was a model. They weren't to like reveal this great performance, but yet in that alone, it's a great performance. He just wanted them to simply be doing the action, almost instructional, almost like an instructional video or something. Although it was a film on, real film, black and white. So that makes it even better. It would be great to show in acting classes. The actors were just simply doing the action, simply saying the lines. There was no feat for great emotion or anything. There was a moment where he cries whenever they tell him that he is to be executed, but he doesn't cry in front of the court. He goes back to his cell, and it's a quick moment where he just cries in the bed. But Bresson was more about the action and the how of how things spell out, or whatever I'm trying to say. He was concerned with showing the action simply. He wasn't trying to be fancy or dramatic. He wasn't trying to be dramatic. He was using the actors as models, but yet it works even in today's standards. It's still a film that has an emotional. You can still have an emotional connection to it, but it's a different type of emotional connection. It's not a feel-good. It's not a cathartic thing, really, or it kind of is, but it doesn't appear to be. It doesn't appear to be anything cathartic. But there is a cathartic moment once they get out. He does use music, like most of the filmmakers of that time. It's a really good film. I'm glad I found it. I gotta thank David Remnick from The New Yorker for recommending that. And all of his picks, I have a feeling, are going to be good. He's a good. I'm always going on Criterion Collection trying to find some good movies, and I'm probably going to add that to honorable mentions on my top 11. I don't know if it's going to make a top 11 though, but it will definitely be on the honorable. Mellow Mushroom on the way. 7-Eleven, 7 minutes, 2.7 miles for the pickup. Rum rum. Mellow Mushroom on the way, 7:39 arrival, 23 minutes, 10 miles all the way to Crowley. I kind of do that because it makes it fun. Like, who was that? And you got to figure it out. For some reason this month alone, I think towards probably the last 3 or 4 days, the trees have really changed in color, you know. I haven't noticed it. Maybe I just haven't noticed it. I mean, I used to be a telemarketer. I just got a phone call from Euless. And I just say do not call list, but, you know, and then hang up. But you want to let them know, because they might have a do not call list, you know. They're really supposed to. Back in the day, the landlines were real sensitive, and you could take them to court. Now, what you do is if they call, like, I think it's a certain amount of time, but you have to be able to trace the call, and then you get like a small claims lawyer, and then you just bring all that paperwork, because the phone company should keep all the paperwork on file. We never called. When I worked as a telemarketer for nearly, well, let's see, was it 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11? About 4 years. It felt like 5 years, but I'd say about 5 years. We couldn't call cell phones or mobile phones. So if it was a mobile phone, we just hung up. I don't know how they... Now they have to call the mobile phones. I respect it, but I just say do not call list, you know. That way they know, and they have a little button they press, and it goes to the next caller. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a pizza run. They sent me this one. Their vocals are pretty good. There's no other go alone. And then before that, I was listening to, whoops, hang on. I'm always used to the MLA format quoting things. Was Phoenix. This one's actually a pretty good one, featuring Fleet Foxes and Mitchell, Big Red Machine. One thing I liked about Marcellin was the Lieutenant Fontaine, who's, you know, been captured by the Nazis. He has to walk, like, well, he has to be really quiet. So when him and the deserted Nazi escape, they have to figure out how to walk without making noise. So he I guess, decides to do heel to toe. I don't know where he learned that, but he probably learned it from the French Resistance, which Marcel Marceau was part of, who was, I remember doing the heel to toe thing in mime class. He was part of the French Resistance. So you see how powerful it is to have an artist as part of your resistance, because that probably could have been one of the reasons why they defeated the Nazis, because of the art of silence. It was an art. He looked at it as an art. It wasn't looked at as a militant thing. It still isn't even today. It's part of his mime class, you know. But I wonder if that fit into that. I was just wondering, because they were talking about heel to toe, and he was part of the resistance, and he knew how to walk on this gravel without making noise on top of the actual prison cells and stuff. They were able to leave without making noise. It had to be silent in order for it to work. And you know how important the vloggers are, you know? They're like super quiet. Anyway, it does kind of help in delivery. It's best nowadays, post-COVID, as they say, for the food just kind of to appear there and then you're gone, kind of thing, you know? It's like one moment you arrive, food's there, photo taken, boom, gone. It's good business at times. Anyway, just, I don't know. Down Santa. All right, warehouse delivery, 7:52 arrival, 6 minutes, 2.3 miles for the delivery. All right, Little Caesars and then McDonald's. 7:59 arrival, 4 minutes 1.2 for the pickup at Little Caesars. And there's Little Caesars, and there's the McDonald's. The first Little Caesars. All right, McDonald's going for the pickup. 8:07 arrival, 3 minutes 0.1 mile. McDonald's on the way. 8:15 arrival, 4 minutes 0.4 mile for the delivery. Little Caesars on the way. 8:19 arrival, 4 minutes 1.3 mile for the delivery. I take a cracker. Isn't that great? Put the grape on the cracker. Pizza Hut on my way. 8:35 arrival, 6 minutes 2.1 miles for the pickup. Run, 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 run. They sent me some Fleet Foxes stuff. They're pretty good. Pizza Hut on the way. 8:49 arrival, 6 minutes 2.6 miles for the backed up almost to I-20. Man. And sometimes they, like the warehouse and stuff like that, will send out stuff to Burleson. I don't know if they get in touch with the apps. They should. Out the drivers. Lutheran church and school do everything in the name of Jesus. Colossians 3:17, in the name of Jesus. Right, got one at Taco Bell, 9:14 arrival, 4 minutes, 0.8 for pick. Flying fish, $1.50 Gulf oysters on Sunday. Taco Bell on the way, 9:28 arrival, 8 minutes, 1.7 mile for the delivery. Panera Bread, 9:33 arrival, 5 minutes, 2.2 miles for the pickup. I don't know why it's not in glitch mode, but for some reason, I guess this Sunday it wasn't in glitch mode. Right, Panera Bread on the way, 10:01 arrival, 10 minutes, 6.4 miles for the delivery. I thought it was Nora Jones. She kind of sounds a little like her, Sharon Van Etten. She's from Jersey. All right, got one at the main event, 10:17, 4 minutes, 1.9 mile for the pickup. This is where we did that opening of the outro of Linda dancing on the dance machine, where she's like running in place. It was this main event. Right, they got a funnel cake and a soft pretzel. And they got their Christmas tree. Changed it to this thing right here, spin and win. The door's still there though. The shot was about right here. The door was still there. You can match it by the door. Here. I said they have a Christmas shop now. It says Merry Christmas on it. Well, it's just a gift shop. Let's see if they moved it somewhere. Because I know that she falls down. Funnel cake fries and soft pretzel sticks. So there it is. That they put the spin and win. That was a dance machine. I didn't see it that it was in there. So in the show, it goes. It's one of the things it does in the show. It shows this part of it. That's the Christmas one. And it's right in there. That was the machine that she was dancing on that they changed to spin and win. It was originally that one. All right, on our way. Main event, 10:37 arrival, 7 minutes, 3.2 miles for the delivery. did not know that the National did a Talking Head song. So that is. Oh, it's a kangaroo with a candy cane. It's kind of hard to say. Kangaroo with a candy cane. A kangaroo with a candy cane. There's a bar called Heaven. Nothing really happens. It stays exactly the same. In heaven, heaven is a place where nothing ever happens. Okay. Is that what I think it is? It is what I thought it is. It's Tim Burton stuff. Nightmare Before Christmas on a choo-choo train. Still popular. And that is Oscar, Cookie Monster, and Big Bird having Christmas. That's a good idea. Love these projectors. Wow. I would say definitely. I'm gonna turn right here. If I can. I don't know if I can. This is pretty much incredible right here. Oh my gosh. They're probably taking first place. That is awesome. Little impatient driver in the middle of the neighborhood during Christmas time. No mercy! It's like Christmas time. That's what people do. Well, some people. Look at that. Oh, it's a little kangaroo. He's in his pouch. All right, Taco Bell, 10:57, 10 minutes, 4.3 miles. We got 2 more, and that's good for the night. Oh, they got a Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's, little Buc-ee's in the front yard. Oh, Buc-ee's Christmas. The Vikings, the Cowboys. Let's see. Yep, 33 degrees. A low of 29 tonight. All right, I always provide them. They didn't have any pepper. I just got salt, and then of course the mild sauce and hot sauce and Diablo and the fire stuff like that. Try to at least give them that. Put it in a bag. Taco Bell on the way, 11:15, 7 minutes, 3.1 for the delivery. All right. Done on that. It's all about dexterity in the end. Boom. And win, probably. A lot of other things. Flock of seagulls, if I had a photograph of you. Wishing is another title. Wishing if I had a photograph of you. It goes like dun 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 dun. All right, second Taco Bell delivery and the last one for tonight. 11:28 arrival, 10 minutes, 5 miles for the delivery. Very interesting concept. It's basically containers that are made, I guess, for housing. Or this, no, this is for offices. Or is it for housing? I don't know. I can't really tell. Maybe both. Looks like it could be an office. An apartment? I don't know. That's like a new concept idea. But they're like those huge containers. And they turned this bus right here into like a little bus stop. It has information, I think, about the civil rights in it. This is where I went to school in this area off of Rosedale, Texas Wesleyan. That street right there is called New York. It got me all the way to New York, even though I only got my associates there and I got my bachelor's at University of North Texas. I have an actual degree. And it's something that took a lot of work. And concentration and focus.
What there is particularly dead about a doornail, I might have been inclined myself to regard a coffin nail as the deadest piece of ironmongery in the trade. But the wisdom of our ancestors is in the simile, and my unhallowed hands shall not disturb it, or the country is done for. You will, therefore, permit me to repeat emphatically that Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead, friend and sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up by the sad event, but that he was an excellent man of business on the very day of the funeral, and the firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge better than an evil eye.
So they do have this with Hugh Grant reading. I just don't want to get hit with a copyright, but I'm going solo with the car right now. I just know that Hugh Grant, he doesn't like Porsche. That's what he said at the Actor Studio. But I do want to listen to that reading. But for right now, I'm just doing this one because it's less likely going to get a copyright hit.
But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked,
and stuff like that.
To edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep. He had so heated himself with rapid walking in the fog and frost, this nephew of Scrooge's, that he was all in a glow. His face was ruddy and handsome. His eyes sparkled.
Alright, so if we go to Apple CarPlay,
when I live in such a world
And we
of
go
fools as this.
to
Merry Christmas.
audio.
Merry Christmas.
Since it's working.
What's Christmas time to you? At a time of paying bills without money.
Go to the Christmas Carol.
Make yourself a year older.
Charles Dickens right here. That's going to be Hugh Grant.
Written by Charles Dickens, performed by Hugh Grant. Ghost of an idea, which shall not put my readers out of humour with themselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt their houses pleasantly, and no one wish to lay it. Marley's Ghost. Marley was dead, to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that.
They've got Christmas lights on vehicles, like decorating it completely. I wonder if they have that professionally done.
Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge, and sometimes Marley. But he answered to both names. It was all the same to him.
Scrooge never did.
Collector.
Nobody ever stopped him in the street.
Yeah, it cuts out
to
pretty
say
quick on the
with
sample of Hugh
gladsome
Grant,
looks,
so I
"My dear
turned it on another
Scrooge,
one.
how are you? When will you come to see me?" No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what.
I know I heard you. There you are. All right. Say goodnight, kitty. Stand on the tape and say, well, you'll learn eventually. Come over here. Come on. Stand right there. There you go. All right. Say goodnight. Kitty's gonna have some of this Temptations, and I'm gonna have this Pitmaster healthy smokehouse style steak and potatoes. Oh, Kitty got the shot. And probably gonna make a beef because it's like a beef melt with beef chicken melt sandwich. Master. Today's kitty. Let's get this one scoop and very good. There we go. So we're just using olive oil instead of butter. And I'm heating this here. And we're just going to kind of go like this. Put that on there. Voila. Masterpiece here. Put a little bit of horsey sauce on it. I just microwaved it to make sure that it's nice and steamy. Oh, well, I had crackers earlier. I just now remembered, I forgot the crackers. See what's on. There I am. Let's see what vlogs I did recently. Your videos. Okay. It was yesterday. Not a whole lot of views, but some. Ooh, 31 views on empty quickway shopping. Shall we? You know what? Not a bad idea. We'll listen to the audiobook. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open. You have a good one. I think I am going to get some crackers. It's a good movie.